Mr. Goldman from New York.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Secretary Mayorkas, is it the policy of the Biden administration to allow as much fentanyl in this country as possible?
No, it is not, Congressman. It is our plan to interdict and prevent as much fentanyl that is being sought to enter the country from preventing it from being so.
And is it the policy of the Biden administration to allow as many children to be smuggled into this country as possible?
No, it is not, Congressman.
No, of course it's not. And we're sitting here with a shocking lack of decorum to have a secretary, cabinet secretary in front of us who has been subject to ad hominem insults and accusations that are completely baseless. I have now counted that 6 of my Republican colleagues have not asked you a single question. They have used their 5 minutes to speechify, to accuse you of lying, to accuse you of making false statements, and what is a clear effort to try to set up, I suppose, the first step of the 5-phase plan to impeach you. Well, I have a little experience with impeachment, and I can tell you, as well as everybody else, that there is no grounds for impeachment based on a policy dispute. And there is absolutely nothing that I've seen here today that amounts to a false statement under oath. In fact, Mr. Bishop, my colleague, in referencing operational control and that standard, stated himself that it is an objective. It is the objective of the Department of Homeland Security to have operational control, and as you pointed out, that is to allow no unlawful entry into this country. That, of course, is an impossible standard, and you are certainly to be applauded for recognizing the problem that we have at the border and providing more resources and asking for more resources to solve that. I have another question, Secretary Mayorkas. If there are more encounters at the border between Homeland Security officials and smugglers, migrants coming in, you name it, does that mean that the Department of Homeland Security is doing its job better or worse?
Congressman, I'm not sure I understand your question, but let me just say this, that encounters are a function of a number of factors. And what we are seeing is an increase in migration around the hemisphere, and the factors involve why people leave their countries of origin, their home, for a better life, because of authoritarian regimes, because of extreme poverty, violence, persecution by reason of their membership in a particular social group, because of the adverse impacts of COVID-19. Our country has advanced in conquering the COVID-19 pandemic more than any country to the south. Our country has 10 to 11 million vacant jobs that are incredibly meaningful for people who are fleeing extreme poverty. The United States of America remains the greatest country in the world, the country in which so many people want to live for a better life. The number of encounters often reflect all of those factors.
Including, right, the fact that your officials are doing their job and encountering people who are trying to come across without a lawful visa. I had a whole line of questioning that I'm not going to be able to get to, but I would like to ask unanimous consent to enter an editorial into the record that is entitled in today's Washington Post, "How to Stop the Mexican Cartels?" ? Stop supplying them with guns.
Without objection, so ordered.
There are over 200,000 guns that are exported from gun manufacturers and gun dealers in the United States two Mexican cartels that allow them to control the border and send fentanyl back into this country. The laws in Mexico are incredibly strict. There is one gun store in the entire country. So if we are going to stop the fentanyl crisis and if we are going to stop the cartels, then we need to stop the exportation of assault weapons to Mexico from this country. And I yield back.
The gentleman